Before we start, that made me think of something, Rob. When you say that, if John didn't fire you, but were you ever on the cusp of just leaving? Because I mean, look at what happened. You left. You're doing your own thing. Added some gigs with Hami Media and all that. So obviously, leaving that was the best thing that could have happened to your podcasting career. But did you ever think about forcing the split yourself?
Yeah, I was on the way out, and I think we may have touched on this a little bit in previous episodes. But for those of you that might not know, I'll kind of just give you the quick version of it again if I can, because I'm long-winded. But Richie and I were texting back and forth. Richie Reardon, who was also on the network, and we were kind of tired of John's shenanigans, and his politics were getting out of control on Twitter, and we're completely far opposite from where he was. And what really came down to me for me wanting to leave was when I confronted him about the Memorial Day numbers, when my numbers just spiked through the roof for a 2-day period, right around the same time too. Like it was like 11 a.m. or whatever, and I all of a sudden got like hundreds and hundreds of downloads from one area, and that's Mike will probably bleep it out, but it's in the New York, somewhere in New York where John is from. When I confronted him about it, he said, "Oh yeah, well my people are loyal, so they probably just sub to your podcast and it just automatically downloads all of these." I'm like, "Well, John, it's not like it's the newer episodes. If they were to sub, every episode would have had a spike, and it wasn't. It was like the newer episodes." So I'm like, that's crap. And like, no matter what I kept trying to bring up to him and try to argue with him about, he kept deflecting. So finally I just dropped it. But that for me really told me like something screwy is going on there. Between that and his YouTube page, I'm like, something's not jiving here. And obviously now that I'm on my own and I see what my real numbers are, they weren't even close to what I was getting on the giant conglomerate, the media conglomerate that is formerly the Reality Check Podcast Network. But yeah, it was definitely shady. So the proof is in the pudding, guys. I've shown it all to you. You guys have told the entire world. He can't run from it, but he continues to deny, and that's really out of the whole playbook that he lives by.
There was Megaphone, right? And what was the other big one towards the end with
Megaphone and Art 19?
I don't understand how like some of the shows under my umbrella do really well. Some have their smaller audiences. And it's just if I took a show with a smaller audience that I know is only worth 500, 700, whatever, because anything under 1,000, you're supposedly the shits, according to like what you read.
Right.
I couldn't imagine bringing a show like that to Megaphone or Art 19 or Westwood and going, this is going to be a hit.
Yeah.
Wait to see this. Let me get that free account or whatever. And then they're seeing 178 downloads for like weeks. Like, it's so embarrassing. Like, why would you can't just will shit to happen? I don't care what the secret says.
That's exactly what he did. And he inflated and bought those numbers so he could take him to Megaphone and R19 because, as you know, you've been in the podcasting world for a while. Those two companies are invite only. You can't just sign up for a $60 a month membership or whatever. You have to have certain numbers to get in. So that just shows you right there. I mean, if there wasn't any bigger proof than that, that shows you right there that he was inflating his numbers to get on those two platforms because I couldn't do it if I wanted to.
Yeah, just embarrassing. And at that point is usually when I was just waiting for the mousetrap to, like, I would see, hey, we're on Megaphone now. And I'm like, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
3 weeks.
And it was. We just kept moving from server to server to server. I think it was like 5 different platforms that we were on.
Like we talked about earlier, I've been on Spreaker since they offered me the thing in 2018, I think. I'm never going to leave. There's no reason to leave. It's the best I've ever worked with, and I've worked with other ones via Conrad or Conan Show or Ravens or whoever. Spreaker, I've just advised Conan to go over there. There might be some more coming, and it's the best, dude. I think it's going to be the top one within the next couple of years because it's so sorry for going on here, Mike, but it's so friendly for the artist. You know what I mean? You can make money here. If your numbers are a certain place, they'll do the sponsor hunt and all that. And it goes everywhere you'd want it to, iTunes, Spotify, Podcast Addict, whatever. So, all right, I'm done.